So in this tutorial, I just wanted to go over how to create compositions and when you might actually want to use compositions. So just start off, it's really easy. Add media, composition. And it doesn't matter what the duration is. We're not going to use that. So test comp, don't lock the duration. You come in here and you want to set your width. That's important. And shortly we'll go over this reference frame left top because that's very, very important. But at a basic level, in most cases, you just want to leave it, left of 0 and the top of 0. That's the easiest way for you to handle this. So what you want to do is you want to take one of your files and drag it in. And so you have a piece of media that's 5 seconds. But you don't want to actually come in here and set the duration of your composition because that would be incredibly annoying if you're doing a bunch of them. So what you want to just do is set the duration to be something shorter than your media. I generally will always just do 2 seconds, 3 seconds, something short, and then hit OK. And then you would click it and it will set the duration to your composition, exactly the length of the media. So now you have a composition that is 5 seconds. Okay, so now I just wanted to go over how you would actually use this. So now you have a composition, 5 seconds, and so you're going to want to, you might be tempted to loop the media inside of the composition, but in most cases you're not going to want to do that. You're going to want to keep this not looping. You want to keep that normal. And then you'd actually drag and drop your composition in and you'd loop that. So you loop this, you loop the composition itself and not really the media inside of it. So the first example that I wanted to give is in a situation where you have a movie file that has like a second of black in the front. That's a pretty common, render mistake, or some people think that you want that, so I guess you might be tempted to do this, and for clip on the timeline, you might say the end time would be 1 second. And you might be tempted to do that. But the problem with that is that if you ever use this again, you're going to have to do that over and over again. And you're going to have to remember that that's like that. Whereas if you use the composition, then it's a one-time thing. You do it here, you set the end time to 1 second, and then you set the composition duration to 4 seconds, and then you lock the duration of that. Now for sure, as long as you use your comp, you have the piece of media will always be there, and that's it. The next example is creating a internal loop, and let's say you have a piece of media that doesn't actually loop, that you need to loop. Um, so you would want to use a composition for this. So what you can do, grab your piece of media, drag it into the timeline, and unfortunately this piece of media that I brought in actually does loop, but we will pretend it doesn't, and set an in time of, let's say we are going to loop at the 2 second mark. So set an in time of 2, do something like 4 there, and then we'll duplicate and set an in time of 0, and set this to 2. And then what we'll do is our trick again of set our time position something like this, and then set our duration to something right after it, 3.5, and now we want to set the duration properly, so now we have a correct duration just by clicking lock duration, and now you're going to want to just create the fade in. And then, yeah, we should now have a loop. The next example would be actually using a composition as a container to place a full scene or parts of a scene that you want to put into one one location. So what you have here, two displays on the same tier. The tiers are very important here. So it's on base, so it's on the same tier. Now you're going to grab your media here, add media composition, and what we talked about before, all of a sudden the left and the top are populated with 100. Why are they populated with 100? That's because the top and the left, the start of that tier begins at that point, right at the top left. And the width of the whole tier is this value of 4317, and the height is 1080. So now all I have to do, bring this in. I can copy all of this, place this into the scene. Boom. Automatically sets the duration. Lock duration. Boom. Done. And now you can get rid of that. Bring in your test comp. And now you have the exact same thing in one little container. So that's all I'm going to go over for this tutorial. There are definitely many more uses for compositions, and I might go over a few of those in another tutorial. But if you like these videos and want to see more, feel free to subscribe. That definitely helps me out. And I'm looking forward to doing some more videos. And if you have anything you want to see in particular, feel free to leave a comment.